Hi, I'm Louise Field, founder of Your Pelvic Floor, and we offer training days to health professionals, and we also have the Adore Your Floor program that our coaches throughout the UK offer to women in the community. And I have the lovely Diane Dazenbrink.
Hello.
And Diane, she's a menopause expert, a counsellor for women and their partner, as well as giving advice to businesses and organisations within the workplace, and is the campaigner Make Menopause Matter. So please look this up, hashtag, and you can see what that's all about, and we'd love you to sign it. This video is purely about pelvic floor contraction, because I really think it should have its own video in its own right, because it's something that needs to be explained properly.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, if this was our pelvic floor, there we go, we need to ensure that it is fully relaxed before we try to contract, because if you are like on alert, your pelvic floor will also be a little bit on alert, so that when you go to contract, actually it hasn't got a lot to contract, and then you might think, well, I can't feel my pelvic floor contracting, and it won't be an effective pelvic floor contraction. So there's that whole thing of like, yes, you could take a nice big breath, but a great big sigh also works. It's a natural way of relaxing, isn't it? So it's sitting down initially with your legs uncrossed, feet on the floor, and a great big sigh. We're in synergy. When you can feel that your pelvic floor is relaxed, so as soon as you know that you're a little bit tense up inside in your tummy or you're self-protecting, then you're not going to be relaxed. Nice breath, relax, bum cheeks. Floppy bum cheeks, good. Okay, I'm going to ask you now to put your hand on your coccyx. And I'm also going to ask you to put your hand on your pubis bone. And so we're looking at the pelvis here. We're looking at, here's the coccyx and the pubis bone. And you will find that the pelvic floor, which is at the base of the pelvis, there you go. My hand is on my pubis there, and hand on the coccyx. Okay, now, the reason why I've asked you to put your hands there is that we can't see our pelvic floor. So if I was to do a bicep curl, I can say to myself, yes, I'm doing that bicep curl. But we haven't got the sight of our pelvic floor, so we're going to use what we can feel, and that's touch as our sense to help our motor skills. And in your relaxed state, first of all, where your hand is on the tailbone, I would recommend that you try to draw up on your back exit as if you were trying to stop yourself from passing wind. Now, we're only going to do this a tiny, tiny little bit. I say to the ladies in the Adore Your Floor program, imagine you're on your sofa in your pyjamas with the remote control and you're there on your own. You don't really mind, actually, if you were to give way. That is the small amount of contraction. Now, that small amount of contraction, release it and notice what you relax. And now I want you to wait a few seconds. Diane doesn't sound too relaxed. I am breathing. Okay. When you're ready, I want you to do the same again. Just draw up a little bit. Keep it there and keep breathing. Okay. Where was I? This is called an endurance contraction. And you would try to hold it, because it's an endurance, up to 10 seconds. Now, some women may find they can hold it for 3 and they start to lose it. And then I want you to now relax it. Notice what you can feel relaxing. Because it's often as you relax, you realise what you actually contracted. That's very important to me. Good. And again, you're now going to draw up from your relaxed position into the pelvic floor contraction. Quite short here. If I go here, that is exactly what it is. Okay, so you're doing that small contraction. Keep breathing, and then as you release, notice how much you relaxed, and keep breathing. Wait a good 10 seconds in between those contractions. Good. And let's now go again. And what will happen is that the pelvic floor group, it works together. You can't isolate. So as you draw up from your back exit, actually, you may now start, if you brought your attention to your undercarriage and then towards, I could say, the lips, they will start to close in just a little bit. But you've got to be able to keep it there. She's still breathing.
I am still breathing.
Every
'Cause
time
I'd
she
have
goes,
passed out by
she's
now.
breathing. Yep. And then again, relax it. Right,
Okay.
and release. So.
Okay.
Right, okay. So let's get some hard facts here of what we really need to look for. Fully relaxed before you contract. Your endurance contraction, it's literally a very small contraction. You're going to try to keep it there. Your aim is for 10 seconds, but in reality, when women are starting out, it could be 3 seconds.
Okay.
If you can't feel any contraction, then Diane is in the most quiet place. She's got the light coming through, she's got the camera. I'd say try in bed. Bed is a great place to try. It's really good. You're more relaxed. You shouldn't have any disturbances. It's peaceful. It's dark. It helps. Use that touch. If you look for what relaxes, again, that will indicate to you if you contracted as well. So some people won't feel the contraction, but they'll feel it relaxed.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is that tiny amount. Yeah, it's not a painful, hardcore workout. It is. Just
gentle.
Bringing something into play, drawing in and up and together, yeah? That is great for being able to train the bladder for endurance. So it's having to last longer in between toilet sessions. If you find that you empty your bladder really, really regularly, you may want to then be able to train that bladder up. So that's, again, it's good for holding the pelvic organs, but you never hold your pelvic floor contraction all the time. It's not meant to work like that. It's meant to naturally come into play as and when it's required.
So when we hear about pelvic floor exercises, should they be done every day?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
And how many times?
Right, 3 sets of 10.
3 sets of 10, okay?
So this
Because
one that
there's
you've just
lots
done,
of kind of conflicting information.
Okay, 3 sets of 10 is a great one to keep in mind.
So
there.
like morning, lunchtime and afternoon?
Yeah, or you could do it all in one go.
Okay.
But it's a group of muscles and they get tired like any other muscle does. So if I asked somebody that hadn't done any press-ups before to do 3 sets of 10 of press-ups in one hit, then they might crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's exactly the same idea.
Start gently.
Yeah, and we began with this endurance one because it's a gentle contraction.
Yeah.
Because if I asked you to do the strong contraction before we know you got the gentle contraction, then you're not going to do the strong contraction correctly.
Yeah.
You mustn't be using your buttocks. And if you find that you do use your buttocks, put your hand on your buttocks, and your hand is there to say, keep relaxed. Yeah. Yes, you do need to breathe throughout. Yes, you may find that you raise your eyebrows or your ear twitches a little bit, and you get these little thingies going on in your body. Suddenly, it's like, oh, what's my toe doing there? You know. That happens, but the ideal is that actually you can do it anywhere, any place, anytime. But you need to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
Initially. Unfortunately, so many women, they practice the pelvic floor and it just isn't done correctly. And one of the reasons being is that you can't see it.
Yeah.
I really recommend that you do that touch thing. The other contraction type is your fast twitch, and that is for your stress incontinence, your shout. So that contraction is a stronger contraction. And that is literally drawing up. If I come onto here, drawing up, come onto here.
Standing up.
Through like so. So you're literally from the posterior to anterior. But notice that I'm coming up here, my hand being the visual, I'm coming down with control. What you don't want to do is that.
You're not dropping.
Yeah, I'm coming here and I'm coming down with control. I am not crashing.
Yeah.
Okay, coming down with control takes more control. Okay, and that would be 3 sets of 10. And again, by having your hand on your pubis bone, really helps you know your brain where to go. Oh, okay, I'm going from here to here. Yeah, it really, really does help. So again, practice in bed. If you find that's the thing with pelvic floor exercises. It doesn't matter if you haven't done it during the day, you can do it at night time. There are loads of things on the market that could help you to check if you're doing your pelvic floor contraction right, which is really, really important, but your women's health physio, they can really confirm. They are the ones that can really tell you if you're doing your pelvic floor contraction correctly. And if you don't do it correctly, then for one, it's a waste of time, and actually it could be, what's the word that I'm looking for?
A problem?
Yeah.
An issue?
Yeah.
Contradictory?
Yeah. That's the word. I have lots of words. Sometimes I can't think of the right one.
What about people that are, they're sort of, it's over tightened or hypertonic, as we would call it.
And then,
are there things that they can do for themselves?
I would say, breath is the main thing for me. Stretch. I've got some photographs that I've done. There's some gentle stretches that you can do. Where you are lying down and your knees are just dropped out and just breathing. And I don't stay in that one. So if this was my legs, does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm lying on my back. I would drop them out.
Okay.
Keep it there for a few seconds. Gently bring it back in.
Okay.
And just keep repeating that. That's just one.
Yep.
But any stretch around the whole pelvis, so that could be your glutes, it could be your hip flexors, it could be your hamstrings. And then, you could lie on your back. It'd be more intense where you drop your legs out and then you come back in.
Okay.
Any stretch around anywhere throughout the pelvis. But with stretch, you need to be warm.
Yeah.
And it's 8 out of 10 on intensity. In fact, if it's a problem, then actually it's a 6 out of 10 on intensity to keep it on the move.
Right.
Breath and relaxation is one of the best ways to help down. And the trouble with a hypertonic is more this whole thing. If you can imagine that you're going to the dentist, and you know he's going to take your tooth out and not give you an anaesthetic, you'd be like that, wouldn't you? And this is it. If you're living with pain, you're in that self-defense protective mode all the time. And so you have got that going on. Yeah. And unfortunately, that will channel all the way down to the pelvic floor. Right, so it is learning to be able to breathe and relax. But if you're in pain, that is not easy.
Okay.
Again, women's health physio are the people that we would recommend you to see. 100%. Yeah. So that's our pelvic floor contraction. And that is it. The pelvic floor contractions, every woman needs, but you need that balance again of that flexibility, as well as good resting tone and contraction. And I like to work on an individual basis, like you do. So if anybody attended the Adore Your Floor program, we actually give you a very detailed health questionnaire,
right?
Because that will red flag or help direct us to where we take you.
Yeah.
So again, it isn't one thing for all, but that is how you actually do your pelvic floor contraction.
So just before you finish, can we just have a quick? I've just got a quick question about pads and things. So I read something recently that said that essentially 85% of women could be helped with their urinary problems if they had intervention at the right time by somebody that could help them, either a women's health physio or somebody like yourself. Is that right? 85%. And that's shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, the figures I've had and worked with is 80%, but let's say if we keep it on the conservative, 80% of continence issues can be resolved.
Within 5 weeks, I read. Is that true?
Right, okay, so I would say let's work with 12 weeks, only because I like to do the, what's the word? I'd rather promise something over 12 weeks than saying 5 weeks. So some women could come on the Adore Your Floor program and notice a difference in a week. Yeah. But then it depends on that lady. It could be that it's
and
a 12-month
what she's struggling
program.
with and whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
But essentially, around 80% of women could be helped.
There was a study done on cognitive and motivated elderly people in a residential home. Right. Okay, so we're talking of the elderly here, and their carers were put through a training program, and the residents were, and 80% of them became dry.
Wow. And is that without vaginal estrogen?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So if we put vaginal estrogen in there as well. Yeah. I mean, that is just incredible, isn't it? That some very kind of some very low impact intervention.
Oh, it's very simple intervention.
Massive well-being effects for a huge amount of the population.
Save a fortune of money for the NHS and for the personal pocket, and lifestyle.
Yeah, and benefits. Their general well-being, their mental health would be massively impacted.
80% of issues can be restored.
Well,
or better managed.
That's a win-win, lovely, isn't it?
It is. So, thank you, and bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.